Welcome back, Fantasy Endgame community. I'm Pierre, he's Chris. We're here to help you win at fantasy football. That's what we do all year long. Special announcement, and that is we have hit 10,000 subscribers, so we just want to take a second to say thank you. Thank you to everyone who has watched over the past, year and a half, not even 2 years, and helped us to make our dream into reality. But of course, we're not stopping now. We're going to keep going. We want to expand one of the fastest growing communities out there in fantasy sports. We want you to be involved. If you're a new viewer, please hit that subscribe button, join us. And if you do, then you'll be eligible for a giveaway. We want to say thank you to all of our subscribers, our loyal viewers. Join our Discord. Information is down below in the description, and you'll be eligible for a giveaway to a free entry to Underdog's Best Ball Mania 3. $25 entry, eligible for prizes up to $10 million. That's pretty good. Look, we are always in there. We have an Underdog channel in the Discord where we break down strategy, talk about our favorite players, where to go, how to do it, all to try to help you win. That is our goal. That is our end game. So thank you to everyone. Again, check out that information and be eligible for that free entry as a way of us to say thanks for watching. All right, now we're going to talk about some wide receiver hidden gems, some deep sleepers that really should be on your radar heading into this season. All right, let's start off. Chris, who you got?
Well, I know Jacoby Myers isn't the most exciting name, but in PPR leagues, he's a great wide receiver to have, potentially for your flex or as your wide receiver 3. He had 83 catches, over 800 yards last year, but only 2 touchdowns, right? That's the big knock on Jacoby Myers. But if you dig a little deeper, you see that maybe he just had really bad luck because he actually had 14 red zone targets last year, which is twice as much as any other Patriots wide receiver. And now we're heading into year 2 of Mac Jones. So you got to think the Patriots are probably going to be a little more willing to throw the ball this year. They're not going to be so crazy run heavy. They didn't really add anybody of significance outside of Devontae Parker to this wide receiver room. It's not like, he's going to be buried on the depth chart. I still think he's going to be Mac Jones's, preferred target here. And if he gets 14 plus red zone opportunities again this year, he's definitely going to score more than 2 touchdowns. So I think Jacoby Myers is a great late round PPR wide receiver who gives you a nice floor every week. And I think he's going to have more upside this year with his chances to score touchdowns. So don't forget about Jacoby Myers in his drafts. I know he's boring, doesn't have the huge upside, but it'll get it done for your fantasy team.
It doesn't have to be a pass-heavy offense to have valuable fantasy assets. You already know how I feel about Devontae Parker. And then Nelson Aguilar, I don't even know if he's going to make the final roster. So Myers seems to me like the clear number 1 there. All right, another guy who might be in the best shape of his life, although he's only, I think, 22, so, he should be, but Amari Rodgers. You might have heard Green Bay doesn't have their best wide receiver anymore. Devontae Adams is gone, and he took a whole lot of targets with him. Somebody has to inherit those targets. Rodgers didn't do a whole lot last year. He was on special teams, and that's kind of it. He's going to have to be thrown into the fire this year. He's somebody who stood out early in their preseason. He looks stronger, he looks faster, and he's got the confidence, not only self-confidence, which is something he admitted he didn't have last year as a rookie, but also it looks like he's caught the eye of Aaron Rodgers. If you look at it, I think Lazard is the number 1 guy there, right? I like Lazard. Christian Watson, I kind of started to go the other way on this guy. I was really excited before the draft about him. Going to Green Bay seems like the perfect spot, but he's had issues with drops. He might have that same rookie issue as far as adjusting to the pros. He might be a project. Sammy Watkins, I'm never going to have a lot of confidence there, even if he can stay healthy. And then there's Randall Cobb, who's just kind of there to be Aaron Rodgers' buddy. Amari Rodgers has a legitimate chance to be one of the top targets in this offense, if not the number 2 guy. Regardless of what you think of the guy, Aaron Rodgers is one of the most accurate and best quarterbacks in the NFL still. Amari Rodgers has the pedigree. Guy came from Clemson. We know he's done it on the big stage. We know he has the ability, and now he has the opportunity. Finally, why would you not want the A. Rodgers to A. Rodgers connection shown up in the box score every week, right? We've got to root for that. All right, Chris, who you got next?
Well, I'm going to go with another second-year wide receiver, and that's Nico Collins. Only played 14 games last year, only had 33 catches, about 446 yards, and a touchdown on 60 targets. So you might be thinking, why do I care about Nico Collins? Well, look what he did the last 5 games with Davis Mills. He had 30 targets, He had 15 catches, he had 218 yards, and he had that lone touchdown over those last 5 games. So that means half of his yearly production came in the last 5 games. And that's when Davis Mills really got rolling. That's what you really want to see from a rookie wide receiver and a rookie quarterback. You want to see that connection build as the season goes on, and you want to see that rookie receiver start putting up numbers down the stretch, showing that he's getting comfortable with the NFL game and what it takes. What happens if Brandon Cooks goes down? He's instantly going to have to slot in as the number 1 wide receiver because there's really not much behind him and Brandon Cooks on this wide receiver group. Yeah, it wasn't very exciting in year 1. Not a guy that, really pops off the page as far as stats goes, but that's why he's not being drafted. Look deeper, look at how he performed down the stretch with Davis Mills and try to project what's going to happen this year. I think he's going to have a nice year 2 and really have a lot of value going into year 3. So don't miss out. Draft him before somebody else scoops him up off the waiver wires in your league.
Look, I'll tell you how much confidence I have in Nico Collins. I actually traded for him in, I think, 3 different dynasty leagues at the end of last season. I'm really all in on the breakout this year. If that happens, I'll be pretty happy about it. This guy actually has the highest draft capital out of any of the players we've talked so far about. That is Zay Jones. Do you remember that Zay Jones was an early 2nd round pick for the Buffalo Bills? Probably not, because he really didn't do a lot the first couple of years in the league. Now this year going on to Jacksonville. Look, Zay Jones finally really jumped on the fantasy scene at the end of last year because he had a few good games, and it just so happens those games came during the fantasy playoffs. During weeks 14 through 17 last year, he averaged over 6 receptions and 65 yards a game. This is a guy whose workout metrics are really good. He's got speed, he's got good size. He should be a really productive NFL receiver, but he just really hasn't put it together. He has an opportunity now. He's not going to be stuck behind other receivers. Marvin Jones is fine. Yeah, Christian Kirk, who just inherited a ton of money, he's going to be the slot guy. Zay Jones will probably be the other primary outside receiver. If this offense comes along, Zay Jones could carve out a nice little role as the 3rd receiver there. So don't forget about Zay Jones just because he's in Jacksonville. All right, let's go on with another hidden gem at receiver.
Well, this time I have a rookie, and it's a Dallas Cowboy rookie wide receiver, which, Jerry Jones loves those rookie wide receivers, and it's Jalen Tolbert, who they selected in the 3rd round. So this guy profiles as the outside wide receiver, and I think he has a chance to make an immediate impact. We have Michael Gallup coming off an ACL injury that happened late in the season. We've got James Washington, who, he's kind of nice, but never really did much with the Steelers. Tolbert could have an instant role from week 1 and could keep that role even when Gallup comes back if he can leapfrog James Washington. This is a guy who ranked in the 96th percentile in both college dominator rating and college target share. He's attached to Dak Prescott. He's attached to a great passing game. No, he's probably not going to give you a nice, weekly floor, but he's going to have tons of weekly upside. And we've seen these rookie wide receivers, just because they might struggle early on in the year, and he may struggle early on in the year, don't give up on him, because we see these guys come on late in the year, second half. So maybe not a guy you need to necessarily draft or have on your bench early in the season, but keep an eye on him. Keep him on your watch list, because this is a guy who down the stretch could really break out and really help fantasy teams when it matters most in the fantasy playoffs.
There you go, Dallas receiver. Definitely got to have some upside there. And yeah, I like Tolbert. He kind of has the full package as far as what he brings, to the NFL. All right, and then my last pick, I'm going to go with a guy that is definitely a deep gem. I'm going to talk about Dez Fitzpatrick of the Tennessee Titans. So you remember last year, people were saying, well, Tennessee, they need to draft a receiver. And then they didn't, and they waited till the 4th round, and the guy they got was Dez Fitzpatrick. And then he struggled, and they cut him in camp. And then eventually resurfaced, and he did make his way back onto the roster and played a little bit during the season. So this year they went out and they got Treylon Burks. I'm still on Burks, okay? I'm not giving up the asthma thing, the whole training camp. It's early. I'm not jumping off Treylon Burks. But we don't know what Burks is going to be yet. They don't have A.J. Brown anymore. There's going to be a lot of competition for that number 2 and 3 role. Fitzpatrick is a guy who, again, don't want to buy too much into the preseason hype, but he's come back stronger. He's come back more confident. Ryan Tannehill is speaking him up. You don't hear him speaking up Treylon Burks so far, right? We hear about the struggles, but Fitzpatrick is a guy who last year didn't do anything, but might be a second-year Breakout. You know, we fall in love with the rookies, but let's not forget last year's rookies who just needed a little bit of time. We expect these rookies to come in and dominate. Sometimes it takes a little bit of time. So Fitzpatrick, a guy I'm definitely watching. He's got a chance to be one of the primary receivers now in Tennessee. And as much as they want to give the ball to Derrick Henry, they do have to pass on occasion. So somebody is going to benefit from that. All right, that does it for our hidden gems at wide receiver. We also did this for running backs. Talk about our favorite sleepers and some busts to avoid all offseason long. Guys, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, do it now, and you can be eligible for that entry to the Best Ball Mania 3, our way of saying thank you for all the support. All right, thanks for watching.